On CTV, hear about last week's Indigenous Peoples Day celebration and the message it brings to CSU campus.
Then listen as we fill you in on what's going on with the upcoming election and changes to the ballot.
And finally, explore some of CSU's interesting dance clubs with the Hip Hop Club and the K-Pop Club showing off their skills.
All this and more tonight on CTV.
Good evening, Rams. I'm Gabriele Hibbitts.
And I'm Brandon Lennon.
In addition to the disturbing events that occurred last week, another incident that was a threat to student safety took place on Tuesday night. Around 10 in the evening, students were notified of police activity near the Ramshorn Dining Center. The two suspects involved were described as a 6-foot-tall black male with short, wavy hair, wearing a dark top and gray sweatpants, and a Hispanic male. The police searched for the suspects after they left the area, but they were unable to be located. The incident is still being investigated. Following the incident at the Oval, where an individual was attacked by a bald white man with a knife, the police began conducting a thorough investigation, which is still underway. The victim of the aggravated assault was sent to a hospital that night where treatment was given, and the victim was able to be released the next day. More details will be provided once the investigation is complete, and we will continue to give updates as the story develops.
Monday afternoon, Brian Sudduth was placed under arrest for allegedly walking around Liberty Common Charter School with a realistic BB gun. The Fort Collins police were dispatched on October 21st after a call around 3:46 p.m. about a man walking around the school with what seemed to be a handgun. Parents and faculty followed him around as he walked around the school's campus. Some students were still inside the school during the incident due to after-school events. Police alleged that the man, 33-year-old Sudduth, never tried to enter the school and never made contact with any of the students. Sudduth was transported to Larimar County Jail and booked on the following charges: interference with staff, faculty, students of an educational institution with threat of bodily injury or with a deadly weapon, and unlawful possession of methamphetamine, among other charges.
A man was shot outside of a northern Colorado house party early Saturday morning. Police say shots were fired in the 400 block of Butch Cassidy Drive just before 3 in the morning while officers rushed to the scene. They received another call about a man who had been shot in his car at a different location. When officers arrived at the scene, the victim was suffering from one gunshot wound and there were other bullet holes in the vehicle. The man was rushed to the hospital but is suspected to survive, according to the police.
This Monday, Fort Collins police responded to reports of a shooting on Crown Ridge Lane, where an unidentified woman was shot trying to stop two suspects from breaking into her car. Around 1:20 a.m., the victim was awoken by a family member who saw the men breaking into their car. The victim went outside to stop the suspects, which led to the suspects opening fire multiple times, striking the woman in their leg. The woman has been transported to the hospital with her injury and was treated and discharged Monday afternoon. The suspects fled on foot before the police arrived on scene. Residents have been asked to check any home or business security cameras for any suspicious activity or any information regarding this incident. Police descriptions of the two suspects is two males wearing dark-colored clothing as well as hoodies and backpacks. According to authorities, they are considered armed and dangerous. Police are asking anybody with information regarding the two individuals to contact authorities at 970-416-2825 or tipsline at fcgov.com. Now, let's throw it over to Elyse Gerke to fill us in on what's happening with next week's weather. Elyse?
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome back from the break, Rams. I'm Elyse Gerke here to give you this week's weather rundown, so let's jump right into it. Currently in Fort Collins, it is 55 degrees. The sun set at 6:06 p.m. It was a really beautiful sunset in case you missed it tonight. The sky was really beautiful and there were pink clouds. The humidity is at 0% and the wind is moving north at 9 miles per hour. I'm really happy I didn't get blown away today from these 20-mile-per-hour winds because it's Parents' Weekend. Hi, Mom and Dad. Today was a sunny day, a little bit on the colder side due to the wind. The fall colors have been very prominent across campus, so enjoy them while they last because ski season is underway. But first we have to get through Halloween. Tonight in Fort Collins, we're going to see a wind warning and a low of 34 degrees. A wind warning is also going to be in Denver, Lamone, Sterling, and that's all for that. Heading over to the Eastern Plains, we have a frost warning in Burlington, and its low is going to be 33 degrees. Heading over to the Western Slopes, we have Craig with another winter storm warning at a low of 24 degrees. Vail at 32, and Grand Junction, always a little bit warmer, at 41 degrees. Tomorrow in Fort Collins, we'll see a high of 64 degrees and a low of 37 degrees, and the sun will set at 6:05. The humidity is going to rise a little bit to 4%, and the wind will be moving east at 5 miles per hour. Next week, we'll see some sun, some clouds, and some rain, and potentially some snow. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday will be partially cloudy in the mid-70s. Tuesday, we'll see PM showers, leading into some possible AM snow on Wednesday. And that brings me to the end of our weather forecast tonight. But stick around, Rams, because after the break, we're going to get a live check-in with reporter Kate Sherman about Clark's upcoming construction event. I've been Elyse Gerke with the weather. See you, Rams.
Living with someone you don't know on the other side of the wall is hard, especially if you don't know how to be a good roommate. The first thing that you'll want to do to be a good roommate is make sure that you always stay quiet. Be considerate of others when using common spaces and appliances.
Hey buddy, what you doing?
I'm just gonna need like 40 minutes. Be respectful of your roommate's privacy. Ugh, my bad. Finally, make sure that you clean up after yourself. Oh, a fresh toothbrush.
Have you seen my toothbrush?
Follow these tips to get along with your roommates and your landlord.
Welcome back from the break. I am here in front of the Andrew G. Clark building at the heart of CSU's campus, where construction has recently taken over, and what used to be one of the most used and oldest buildings on campus. And now, coming up, the president and provost, along with 2 students, will be talking here on Wednesday, October 30th at 4 p.m. to speak about the future of Clark. This will be to celebrate the Clark groundbreaking, finally, and thank you. Back to you guys. I'm Kate Sherman with CTV Channel 11.
Thanks, Kate. Well, I'm very excited to see Clark all renovated. It's a really old building, and I think it's about time it gets a makeover.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. Minus the asbestos, it's a pretty nice building, I won't lie. We're in it right now, and that's where our studio is home to, so it's pretty nice.
Should be great to see it all completed. But moving on, last week a celebration of Native American culture and heritage, Indigenous Peoples Day, took place on the LSC Plaza. Students gathered to learn about what it means to be of Native American descent, the different tribes represented on campus, and Native American values and traditions.
I would say that, while I've been doing this for the last couple of years, I've really seen a lot of students sort of come into their Native identity and really start to sort of experience it in a different way. Being Native a lot of the time, it's seen as something that's very sort of in the past, I guess. And so, having our office out here really sort of shows that, Native people are still here. We're not like an old kind of people or really anything.
Founded in 1979, the Native American Cultural Center was established to provide support and services related to recruitment, retention, graduation, and community outreach. With a variety of tribes being represented on campus, the organization provides support for many students of Native American descent.
Our students that are here come from a lot of different tribes, and so being able to have them all out here and kind of talk about like how they are Native and what it means to be Native to them, I think is a really great way to consider that. That to really just promote Native visibility on campus, really just encourage students to just continue to really be and be able to express themselves in their indigeneity, and really, like I said, just sort of celebrate our present, past, and future.
If students would like to learn more about Native American heritage or how to get involved within the Indigenous community, they are encouraged to visit or contact the Native American Cultural Center on campus.
October 24th to the 26th is Colorado State University's annual Homecoming and Family Weekend. On Thursday, the Distinguished Alumni Awards will be held in the Lowry Student Center from 5 to 9 p.m. On Friday, from noon to 3 p.m., will be the 50-year club luncheon. This will celebrate the 90th anniversary of the club. And later in the night, starting at 6 p.m., will be Friday Night Lights, including a bonfire on Lowry Student Center West Lawn and the lighting of the A.
Won't be able to participate this year. We'll probably watch the game on Saturday if I can catch it though.
Yeah, one of my good friends, his family's coming up. My family's from Texas, so I don't usually come up for family weekend, but my friend's family, they have an RV, so we're going to be hanging out on Friday and Saturday and tailgating at the game. Yeah, so for homecoming, my parents are going to come in town for the weekend from Georgia. Probably going to do some of the Friday activities like the bonfire out on the West Lawn, and then probably do some tailgating for the game on Saturday.
I think that my dad is coming up, so I think we didn't get tickets to the game, but we'll probably go to like a restaurant or a bar and watch the game there.
From what it seems, this is going to be a relatively relaxing homecoming, full of fun events for you and your family to attend.
The annual Fort Collins Downtown Holiday Lighting Ceremony is set to kick off the holiday season in Old Town on Friday, November 1st. There will be live music in Old Town Square from 5:30 till 7 that evening, with a short ceremony taking place at 6:30 before all the lights turn on. This means there will be some street closures in Fort Collins from 3 in the afternoon till 8:30 after the event, where both Walnut Street and Linden Street will transform into pedestrian-only streets. Larimer County is now under a red flag warning today as 2 small wildfires burn in the northern part of the county.
Meanwhile, a frost advisory will be in effect early tomorrow morning for parts of the county.
Going forward, these conditions could affect wildfire containment efforts and your garden plants.
Now let's throw it over to our reporter, Madison Spooner, to fill us in on some of CSU's fun dance clubs and the events. Madison?
Thanks, guys. Here at CSU, there's a wide variety of clubs for students to get involved in. This week on Thursday, the K-pop dance club and the hip-hop dance club participated in their combined workshop they host every semester. I had the chance to sit in on the class and talk to members of both clubs about how dance has affected their communities.
Recently, K-pop has become a popular topic among teens and college students. This week at CSU, the K-pop dance club and the hip-hop dance club decided to collab in hopes of bringing the dance community together.
We're both dance-oriented clubs, so we decided to come together and dance together because our main message in our club is that anyone can dance, and dancing is fun and freeing, and it's a fun way to like express yourself and a fun way to stress relief and things like that.
At Hip Hop Dance Club, we love KDCSU. We do a collab with them every semester. K-pop folks love coming to Hip Hop Dance Club and just sharing a little bit about what they do in the club, and vice versa. Hip Hop Dance Club loves going to K-pop and learning about K-pop and getting involved with what they do.
The participants shared how they felt about the workshop, along with the community Korean Dance Club has created.
So my favorite part about the class tonight is just, one, meeting new people and just getting to talk to new people from hip-hop, and then also just the people's expression of success once they've finally mastered a dance.
My favorite part about the class was the energy and the community that we brought. It's always fun seeing K-pop join with Hip Hop Dance Club, not just to share the different styles of dance, but to really intermingle those two different interests and communities. There's definitely a lot of buzz between folks, even just in the individual communities alone.
My favorite part of KDCSU is really getting to meet people with similar interests as me, whether that be music or especially in our club, K-pop club, collecting, just embracing the dances that go with all of the music videos, and just really embracing something that I think brings people together in such a fun way like dance.
KDCSU also expressed why you should consider joining these dance groups.
I think everyone should dance and try dancing. It's just super fun, a good way to exercise, a good way to express yourself.
It's a great stress reliever. You get to meet people that are in the same things as you are, whether that be dance, K-pop, or even just music in general. I feel like it's a great way to meet people and get to know, and then also make friends in the same interest.
CSU.
CSU. Everyone say Hip Hop Club.
Hip Hop Club.
While both clubs continue to grow, they chose this week in particular to promote the Monster Jam held this Sunday, the 27th, at the LSC. If you're interested in dance, both clubs encourage you to attend and enjoy dance battles as well as a costume competition. What do you guys think? Do you listen to K-pop?
I'm a big fan personally. I really like BTS. Someone really close to me put me on to K-pop, so I'm a big fan of J-Hope, I won't lie.
Nice. Now, I'm not too knowledgeable about K-pop, but I have seen these people dance and they are really, really talented. So it's really awesome to see this dance talent at CSU.
And with that, stick around, Rams, because after the break, Zoe Weir will fill us in on what happened this week in sports.
See ya, Rams.
Awkward. Do I look familiar? I should. You might remember me from here. Here. Or maybe even here.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
It can actually be a perfect moment to reach out to a friend and ask if they're okay if they seem down.
Doesn't matter how you say it.
You all right?
Everything's okay?
All G?
You all right, girl? You cool?
You bugging dog.
Just show you're there for them.
Go on, Kelly. Seize the awkward.
Hey, you haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
What's up, Rams, and welcome back to the Thursday Night Sports on CTV Channel 11. This upcoming weekend is the Colorado State homecoming football game where the Green and Gold looks to get their 5th win of the season over the New Mexico Lobos. Now, the Rams have been depending on a running back we've all seen before. Senior Avery Morrow has earned his starting spot with 622 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 96 carries. I had the opportunity to learn about the adversity and determination behind this player.
To the 30, to the 20, to the 10, touchdown.
My name is Avery Morrow. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I've been playing football since I was about 6 years old. I have a pretty big family. I have 7 brothers and 2 sisters. I come from the more ghetto part of Seattle, the more ghetto area. I'm the only person in my family that's ever played Division I football. Coming out of high school, I wasn't highly recruited. My high school was more known for basketball than football. I was the only guy on my team that had a scholarship. Coming out of high school, I went to Nevada. Coach Norvell was the head coach at the time. And I played a couple of seasons there. I didn't play that much, but I did pretty good for myself as a younger guy. Scored a couple of touchdowns, had a decent amount of yardage. Then I came here at about, I think it was 2022. I didn't really play that much my first couple of games here. Then kind of had my breakout game my junior year against Nevada. I had some pretty big games that year. My journey's kind of been up and down. had to go through some obstacles. My junior year was a pretty solid year as a younger player, not a senior. And then, I got into some trouble. It was hard. I didn't have the season that I expected or that I was supposed to. But, you go through stuff and, you learn a lot of lessons, and now I'm here. I still had to go through some things at first. I didn't play the first couple of games, but I had a couple of big plays in the early games, but it wasn't until the fourth game against UTEP when I kind of had a breakout game, and I'm just blessed to be where I'm at right now. I've had a couple of 100-yard games, a couple touchdowns, so I'm doing pretty well for myself, and I'm just blessed. Peace out.
It was interesting to learn about the career history behind Morrow. With so many milestones that he has already passed this season, it will be interesting to see how he continues to advance the Rams. That's all the sports talk we have tonight. But stick around, because after the break, investigative reporter JJ McKinney will fill us in on what's happening with the election and ballot. Have a fun homecoming weekend. See you, Rams.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
With the election just 12 days away, millions of Americans around the country are casting ballots and doing their research as we come closer to deciding the next leaders of our communities. Ballots were sent out to members of the Fort Collins community as early as October 11th, but some people picked up their ballots as early as October 4th. From local elections, state legislation, all the way up to national ballots, including the President of the United States. The ballot this year is full of important issues. Citizens from many different walks of life have voted this election season, each with their own reasons about why they are voting.
Because I'd like to think that my vote matters, and that this is that the United States is a democracy, and that all of our votes matter. So that's why I voted, and I like to say that I have some sort of contribution into society, if that makes sense.
It's a turbulent time in this country. It's to be expected. We live in a very divisive nation at the moment. Life sparing, I'm going to do my best to pull up to the polls and enact my rights.
I am voting because I'm a woman and I'm a lesbian, and I feel like in this stage in my life, I'm a little worried about my future, and I'm also thinking about my kids and about future generations. And I think voting is extremely important, and it all adds up, and every vote is super important.
Well, that's how democracy works. As people say, it's not a spectator sport. If you just sit there and watch, then you really can't complain about anything if something happens that you don't like.
Oh, it's important, crucial for the democracy for people to vote, get out and be active in the government, and feel like you have a voice. I had the ballot issue. There were so many ballot issues. It took me forever to fill out the ballot, but I did it, and as I say, I voted.
I'm black, descended from enslaved folk, and I believe I have a right and a need to show up and enact my right to vote.
While some folks have already casted their votes in this election, there may be some who haven't decided if they're going to participate in this election. and those who still have to figure out steps like voter registration, mail-in ballots, and what specifically is on the ballot. With so many questions, officials in Larimer County have come forward to shed some light on voter registration.
Whether it's somebody's first election or 10th, voters young and old are heading to the polls to do everything they can to direct the country in the direction they want it. With so many decisions and steps for people to know, it can be confusing figuring out how and why a person may vote. Larimer County Clerk Recorder Tina Harris and Larimer County Director of Elections Michelle Mahoka may be able to clear up that confusion.
We really worked on the community outreach because we want people to know what the clerk's office does and to let them know that we're here to provide them with answers to any questions that they may have.
In terms of voter registration, we have brought on board a large team to support not only those voter registration transactions, but also the very large number of questions that start coming in via phone as people remember that there's a very big election coming down the pike.
While mail-in ballots are an option, voters can find poll offices all over the city full of resources to help fill your ballot the way you want.
So we are a voting service and polling center. So if your ballot didn't come to you, then you can get a replacement ballot. You can vote in person. So first you'd come in and you'd visit one of our computer judges. If there's anything that has changed in your records, such as an address, then they can make that change right away. And then after they're done at the computer judge, you'll decide which way you want to vote. Do you want to take a ballot home with you, or do you want to vote here in person?
Once a person opens their ballot, they will see ballot issues on topics concerning the city, the state of Colorado, and even all the way up to national topics like the presidential election.
When you open your ballot, the first thing you're going to see is all of the candidates that are running for office. Races are always listed first on your ballot, so you'll see the presidential race, of course, and I know everyone's looking forward to that one. But we've also got local House and Senate, Board of Education races, county races, and judicial retention questions.
Yes, I think knowing what each issue is, citywide, statewide, nationally, it's always good to do some research.
While the voting process can be overwhelming, Larimer County says they are doing everything they can to keep your ballots filled and safe.
We're making sure that we are hiring our election staff, right? Getting not election staff, but our election judges. We're doing training. We're prepping for that election. We're reviewing law and rule in our processes. We're getting a lot of the work done, but then we're going to go back and organize that work so that it's in a good, secure place when we're ready to use it again.
It's the basis of our country that we all have the option to vote and be part of the process. You can't complain about the things that are happening in the government if you don't take the time to vote and be aware. So please, look at what's happening so that you have a say in what happens to all levels of government.
This year's ballot includes multiple different issues in Colorado alone. CTV is here to help our viewers make sure they are informed on as much of their ballots as possible. Starting at the city and county level, Larimer County has two major races going on. The first is the race for clerk and recorder, who is responsible for overlooking elections, voter registration, recording documents, and vehicle licensing. Republican incumbent Tina Harris is running for re-election against Democratic candidate Wyatt Curtis. Larimer County commissioners, who are responsible for ensuring the health, safety, and welfare of citizens, is between Kristen Stevens and Eric Selgren for District 2, and Jody McNally and Ben Aste for District 3. There are so many ballot issues and amendments this election that we cannot cover them all here on CTV tonight. However, we can name a few major ones across the state that voters may want to be assured of, such as Amendment 79, which is a measure which will codify abortion into the state constitution. Another is Proposition 129, the Veterinary Professional Associate Initiative, which will create a veterinary professional assistant to help veterinarians. City ballot issues include 2A, a sales tax to fund street maintenance. 2B, which removes deputy city clerk from the Board of Elections. 2C, making the recall amendment easier to read. And 2D, which allows citizens to create, approve, or reject legislation from City Council. The race for Colorado's 2nd Congressional District is on the ballot this year too. This race will decide if both Fort Collins and Boulder's congressmen in the U.S. House of Representatives. The candidates are incumbent Democratic candidate Joe Neguse, who is running in hopes of maintaining all of the community he has worked to build over his last 3 terms, and Republican candidate Marshall Dawson, who is running on transparency and limiting the powers of the federal government. Finally, we have what is likely the largest race this year, the 2024 U.S. presidential election between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. Trump is running largely on immigration, securing the U.S.-Mexico border, and ending the war in Ukraine, as well as cutting funding for schools that teach critical race theory. Harris is running mostly on ending grocery price gouging, tax cuts for the middle-class Americans, and safeguarding abortion and reproductive rights. While we have covered as much as we can on this ballot, voters may have more questions on key issues in this year's ballot. Anyone who needs more information can read about these issues at collegian.com, where they can search up 2024's elections and read articles on each specific issue at the local, state, and federal level. Mail-in ballots also gave these little blue books, which will go over multiple issues in detail. But that's all we have for you tonight, Rams. Check out our show on November 5th, as we'll be doing a deep dive into the upcoming elections as a whole. And remember to check out our YouTube channel for more content all week. Stay safe, Rams, and have a great weekend.